Welcome to my Armored Core 6 build showcase for the Night Heron. This is a very lightweight AC that is a lot of fun in my opinion, likely one of the most fun things that I built in the game so far at least. Also, it works amazingly well in some situations, so I decided to make a quick video about it. And yeah, first up talk a bit about its general makeup and getting into the different components that I use. And afterwards I'll be taking you guys along for a mission where I'm going to defeat Rokumonsen. Usually quite a tough fight, but this one almost turns it into a cakewalk as long as I don't mess up too severely. But we'll see how that goes. That's definitely on another paper, but the AC itself, it is quite good. Believe me, please. So yeah, overall, pretty quick, agile, cannot tank too much with its less than 10,000 AP. The weapons are all energy based, 3 of them being more mid-range, with 2 of them being vertical missile launchers and an energy rifle in the front. But it also has an energy blade on the side, so that's more for going in for quick stabs at the enemy, and usually works out quite well if you make your way out of that again rather quickly. So let's start off with legs, which are actually the thing that I use to base the entire AC on, literally and figuratively as well. And also it's the namesakes for the entire thing, Nachtreiher being the German word for night heron. And yeah, these are very lightweight. Oops. So yeah, very lightweight, very low load limits, so everything on top of it also needs to be light, otherwise the entire thing is not gonna work out too well. So for the arms I took the lightest ones that I could find. I think value wise it's overall pretty decent as well. Usually there's a lot of trade-off for having a lightweight part, but this one is still working out quite well for me, at least so far. Could use a bit more in terms of firearm specialization to make the aim a bit more precise, but it's still working out alright. For the core I went with VP40S, which is what I would call quite a good all-rounder. So maybe not the lightest one available, but the values are all pretty solid and that just makes for a good core here. Same can be said for the head, the VP44S. And that in addition to just having a lot of generally good values, it also has a nice long scan distance, meaning that you can scan for just a large area and not have to run into anything blindly. So that's very useful for something with, I don't want to call it fragile, but not too tanky at least. Talking about the weapons next. Starting with a plasma rifle in the right hand, the VVC 760 PR. This thing can use a single shot to down a single regular MT, which is already quite useful. You can also charge up the shot to fire a triple one, which will then also have a larger area of effect and do a lot of damage to anything that's touching multiple ones of orbs it's creating. And yeah, this weapon is actually, it's quite cool and useful, and if you find the opening to charge up a shot, it can do a lot of damage as well. For the left arm, I went with a standard energy blade, the BU-T/A. It's just very good to go in rather quick, have 2 steps and then pull back out again. And due to it not being the spin around blade, it's actually, I think the hit chance with this one is a bit higher than with the other one. So overall, just a very good blade. I mean, if you played the game, you know what it is. You've definitely used it. For the back, we have a VVC 70 VPM plasma vertical missile launcher. So this baby can shoot 5 missiles at once. And they may take their sweet time to get to the target, but they are so agile and they just hit it with high precision. So that's something that I've been missing with counterpart that doesn't shoot vertical ones, but just yeah, straight up front. This one only shoots 3 of them as well, so this is a bit more of yeah, more hefty weapon. And I quite like it, especially with how higher the precision seems to be. I found that the regular missile launcher just ends up shooting around the target too often. This one usually hits them from top down just yeah, all the time, pretty much. And yeah, this can also track fast moving targets pretty well, so quite agile, quite useful, and therefore a must-have for this build. So going to the more inside components, we have the booster. This one, the Alula 21E, it's just... I wasn't sure about this one, but it seems to be the one that works out best with both quick boost thrust, the jet duration, and yeah, also it doesn't need the highest ideal weight to work out. So I took a rather low weight option here, since the other ones don't seem to benefit me too much. I think in other games you may have gotten a bit more out of a more heavyweight booster, where with this one it seems, yeah, just get the lightest one for your weight and that should be good as long as the rest of the values are okay. So while this one can, especially this one, it can do a lot, I can move a lot heavier stuff around, at least that's what the ideal weight seems to suggest. A quick boost thrust is actually lower in all that, so I don't know how to interpret that. This definitely works, so fine by me. VCS, I went with something that has high missile lock correction, since I'm relying a lot on my missiles, and also has like okay-ish close range, but definitely more of a medium range thing. So this one is working pretty well for my purposes. For the generator, I went with VP20C, and this is another one of those items that I wasn't too sure about. Like with the boosters, I actually tried to go for this one first, but I couldn't make the... yeah, I couldn't free up the weight to implement it. Generally speaking, for this build, I like to have a lot of EN capacity, just so I can stay in the air a bit longer, maybe have another quick boost before it needs to reload. And also the recharge and supply recovery are quite nice on this one, but it just didn't work with the weight, and that was a bit bad in that regard. But then again, this one also has very good firearm specialization, so that actually boosts the energy damage output. The other option would have been this one, and while it has a bit more capacity, the recharge and supply recovery are so low that when actually using it, if I ever run out of energy, I fall down to the ground, and then I'm sitting duck there for quite a while before it actually recharges. So in order to stay mobile, I went with this one in order to be a bit more mobile in general and not have like short boosts and then yeah, end up completely running out of it for a moment. So that's it for all of the different components here. So let's have a look at the mission. Gonna go into eliminate V7. The biggest issue for me in this mission is that for some reason I always just wanna kill Swinburne or Swinburne or whatever he's called. He is such a killable guy, I don't know, I can't help it. So this one is already pretty good since we need to be stealthy here, so having something highly mobile helps out a lot. I'm just gonna go ahead and stab this guy. Next one we need to just shoot head on. And again, pretty good that this weapon can actually take out one of those guys in a single shot. Again, slashing that guy down, shooting this one. And that's all going pretty well. Let's hit this one with a missile and just go into cover over here. Should be alright, and up onto the ledge. Just gonna shoot him. And let's go to the marker. You could also see this as a bit of a mission guide over here.
Perhaps he's out on night watch.
If you want the additional battle logs, you need to repeat the mission and at one time kill Swinburne, the other time kill Rokumonsen. Also there's a quadruped guy over there that you need to eliminate. And at the starting point there is a garage entry below the starting bit of the wall I jumped on initially. There's another burnt AC in there with a battle log. Although it seems more like a secret artwork kind of thing.
They never learn, do they? Huh. This isn't how the Liberation Front builds their ACs.
Target confirmed.
Yeah, I just go sneaky on him.
Back to your post, Grunt.
Apparently I was a bit too slow and he already turned around. By the way, those big rounds are the ones that I'm trying to avoid usually. And I'll just be going around him. Usually kinda wanna wait with the heavy attacks until he's incapacitated. And just circling him, sometimes going in the air a bit. I can also hold up the shot, which is a bit more effective if you can actually hit the ground below the guy, so that the rounds can't just shoot past him.
2 repair kits remaining.
And yeah, I'm definitely usually a bit better with this one, but it's gonna be alright. Isn't really giving me too much trouble yet. As long as I don't go into his melee frenzy, I should be alright. He has this very weird chain attack that he sometimes does. Looks a bit like he's losing it when he does it and just flailing around mildly.
Let's not do anything hasty.
Okay.
You realize I lead the Vesper 7 squad, which means I hold the purse strings. Every single transaction goes through me. Let me go, and you'll still come out on top. Understand?
This is always a point where I need to stop deliberately and take him on, because otherwise I'll just beat him to death.
You're quick on the uptake, aren't you?
But he is not my main target in this one.
I'm sure Snail will see you're properly honored for this. You're not like those savages. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Swinburne, shut up and let me fight the real guy. And I get that my contactor is kinda pissed here because, well, my contact giver,
dishonor, such as the Oathbreaker's due.
I may have slightly betrayed him.
Pay the Sanzu Dor!
Yeah, also he's a kind of a dramatic guy.
Is that a Liberation Front AC? Prepare to intercept.
So I'm gonna keep my distance because a lot of his weapons are kinda melee based.
Feed Rubicon's soil.
And I really only wanna get in close and personal when I have the means to do much here. Otherwise he's just gonna punish me. And he also has quite a wild melee weapon there. So my build is not, by the way, I'm currently at the point where I can do the mission, but I'm not too much further ahead, so it's not like I have every part unlocked or something like that. It's maybe in the future I'll be making an update to this and adding new, more endgame parts. But at this point, this is kind of the stuff that I have available to even build this AC with, but it's kind of working pretty well.
Your reward has come.
Might as well activate my pulse armor. I don't know if it's necessarily the best item to equip here, but it was out.
At 50%.
Managed to beat him into a stagger.
He's got the upper hand. Don't let him play mind games, Raven.
Okay, just backing out before he is really laying into me there. And yeah, the missiles are doing their job and they're pretty good on our back.
Light shoulder AP at 50%. AP at 30%.
Okay, that's getting a bit closer than usually.
Witness my steel, Eric. Man and mount as one.
So a lot of this is just kind of dodging and yeah, throwing the missiles.
Death the only salvation. Rest with the coral.
Yes, I'm gonna give this a second try, but apart from recording, I usually end up with even a few repair kits to spare. So this is not the EAC that's failing, that's me right now.
The Vesper's number 7. This is our opportunity for an ambush.
When it comes to gliding, I usually try to
I see. Bela.
do one quick
Tired old
boost and
concern
then
falling further and
just carry it along.
What the?
Ah, there is, that guy is fancy.
Attack me with my back turned.
Let's see if I can do it this time. Going in a bit more aggressively, which is usually the tactic that this game is enforcing anyways.
But clearly you need to be disciplined.
I don't know where he thinks it's going. So yeah, if you get a few good hits on you, that's often what can end the battle pretty quickly. But dodging isn't too difficult either. Wish I could have dodged that more. So it's a good mix of trying to stay alive and also dealing out damage. And let's see if I can stun him. I'll try to go in with a knife again, but right now... I mean, I could maybe also go in P-Stagger and then use the stagger time to actually get out again. That might be another tactic. Or I just use the pulse shield to get out of dodge.
What? Let's not do anything hasty.
Ah, okay, finally.
Realize I lead the Vesper 7 squad, which means I hold the purse strings. Every single transaction goes through me. Let me go, and you'll still come out on top. Understand?
Always keep in mind, I'm not supposed to kill him for this video.
You're quick on the uptake, aren't you?
I'll come back for you later.
Splendid. I'm sure Snail will see you're properly honored for this. You're not like those savages. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Just get lost. Oh, with bravado, and I kind of failed the last time. It was a bit close though, it wasn't like a complete failure.
Death and
Is that a liberation for TC? Repair data set.
the scoundrel's profits. Coins slipping through cold fingers. Feed Rubicon's soil.
AP at 50%.
Ah, finally down enough to activate the repair kit.
I've gathered data on the NEAC. There's Rokumonsen, an elite assassin associated
Okay,
with
go
the
pull
Rokumonsen
shield.
Fund. Don't let me confuse you with
And
this
just
guy.
hitting him.
He's not playing around.
No false me your oath. Your seditious blade strikes true. Savage is the curve.
Yeah. You meet. don't know why he was standing like that, but I'm gonna definitely take a bit of advantage from that.
Watch me, good comrade say. Your reward has come.
AP at 50%.
So I'm not expecting top performance out of this, but I should be able to down him. Would be a bit of a shame otherwise. Oh, yeah, be careful with that. Really curious what kind of weapons await me later down the line, because there seems to be a lot of cool stuff still coming.
Left shoulder ammunition at 50%. Right hand ammunition at 50%. AP at 50%.
Oh, now he's hurting. Ha! Got him.
Treachery benefits none.
Ooh!
Take you turn.
Confirmed. Enemy AC destroyed. That was certainly an adventure.
Yeah, just gonna dodge all the bullets and missiles and then you're fine. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I think the betrayal penalty that I got there is gonna keep me from getting a good rank here anyways. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and till next time, bye bye.